everyone, Thomas here and welcome back to another video. So today I'm back here for another speed build, and today we're going to go ahead and create this one called Westwind Avenue. So if you'd like to go ahead and download this for yourself, it is up in the gallery now. My origin ID is real Thomas TV1. So this is kind of like a suburban family home style build, and the name of it is actually from a floor plan that I found. The floor plan was just called Westwind, and I just kind of put Avenue on the end of it to make it into a full title, because I do really like doing these type of homes, which are like, you know, it's sort of like just suburban family home styles, but because I've already like titled builds like that before, it's sometimes hard to kind of, you know, use a theme as a title, if that makes sense. So sometimes I have to use kind of like actual house names, if that makes sense, like this one, which is fine and everything. It's just a little bit different from normal. And yeah, so this is a 50 by 50 lot build, I believe. Yeah, no, is it 50 by 50? I don't think it is. I'm looking at it now and I don't think it is. It might be, oh, I think it's 40 by 40. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 40 by 40. Can't mind up today. And I was actually just in the mood really to build. There isn't really any like need to like pre-record or anything, because this is actually built quite far in advance. I actually built this on the 31st of August. As I'm doing this voiceover, it's currently the 9th. So I'm not actually too sure when this is going up. So tomorrow, well, I'm thinking it might go up tomorrow on the 10th. If you're watching this in the future and it didn't go up on the 10th is supposed to be a sponsored video that I'm doing. It's like still in the works, so it's like some final touches kind of, you know, going around with it. So I'm not too sure if it's going to be definitely going up tomorrow or not. So if it's not, then this is kind of the video that will go up to replace it instead, because I don't want to miss a video. So if it doesn't go up, then this voiceover, the things I might talk about may not make sense, because you know, with time relevant stuff, because this may be kind of far in advance before it goes up. I'm not too sure. But I'm actually really happy how this turned out, actually. It's just a really nice size. Everything just turned out really nicely, in my opinion. So I don't normally actually follow floor plans. I don't know what it is, but, well, I think it's actually because, you know, I used to follow floor plans when I kind of started building, and there's nothing wrong with, you know, following floor plans, by the way. It's just that now being built in for so long, I've kind of developed a style that I like to use for my builds, and I kind of just know what I like to do. And sometimes I just even go into builds with no kind of purpose or idea, and I just start placing walls and kind of just start making rooms and stuff. So I was just in the mood to have a look at some floor plans today, and this is one of them. So you may actually saw me on Twitter not too long ago post this tweet about how I built 7 builds in 1 day. Sorry, in 2 days. That would be too crazy. So yeah, this is actually the first of the 7 that I started building, just because I was in the mood to build. So no really reason to, I just kind of was in the mood to. And yeah. So we are using a lot of seasons items today. Now, I don't know why it is, but I feel kind of guilty sometimes when it comes to using seasons items. It's really strange, but I feel like I'm kind of being overusing the windows and stuff, and just generally all the seasons items, which is kind of the case for a lot of things. Like, you know, when we get new packs, like for example when Cats and Dogs came out, I was totally obsessed with that. I just continued to use it until it was like way too much, and that's kind of the same thing that's happening here. There's nothing wrong with it though, because, you know, it's a nice item. There's lots of nice items in the pack and everything, and I kind of make it out to be like a bad thing, and I don't know why, but I kind of try to switch things up, but I always seem to come back to these seasons ones, so that's what happened today. And also this is something that somebody left a comment about the other day, but you can see that the garage doors are made out of stone, and somebody left a comment saying about like stone garage doors, and it kind of made me think like, oh my god, why did I do that? It's so random. But I'm hoping that nobody kind of picks up on it, because I've done like all those like 7 builds that I was talking about. Most of them have garages, and all of them have the stone walls. And I don't know why I didn't think about it, but oh my god, it's kind of so embarrassing thinking about it now, even though it's like a stupid little thing, but hopefully you don't mind. Anyway, so back to the build here. There isn't really like, I don't know why I've paused. Have I paused? Or like, yeah, I think my software is lagging here for a second. I don't know why. It sometimes does this, so I'm sorry if you see lag on screen right now. Sometimes what happens is that I see lag while I'm doing this voiceover, like on my preview screen, but once the video actually renders, it's totally fine. So I'm going on and complaining about the lag, and then you're watching it and there's probably nothing to worry about. So I don't know, it just happens sometimes. So I've included a fair amount of the footage from the landscaping today, because this didn't really take me that long, so I thought it'd be a nice idea to kind of include some more footage of the landscaping, because, you know, I get a lot of questions asked about landscaping all the time, and sometimes I kind of cut it out because it's a very repetitive process. So I included a little bit more today, as you saw. We're now working on the interior, but just before I start talking about that, regarding landscaping again, I do actually have a tutorial up. Well, it's sort of like a tutorial. It's not like landscaping is like different for everyone. It's not really a specific thing you have to follow. But I kind of just did a video about how I do landscaping, so you can go ahead and check that out. And I kind of just gave some tips and tricks about improving your landscaping as well. So feel free to go ahead and check that out. So we're now working on the interior. Now, as you can see, like normal, all of the wall coverings and flooring and most of the hallways and stuff are already done. I do that because it's just very repetitive. It's always the same. And you know, you're going to see the wall coverings and stuff when we're going to decorate that particular room. So if the video is going to end up being way too long, then I normally just cut it out, and most of the time I don't just even record it, I just do it off screen. So this is kind of like the main entrance way. Now you can see it's pretty big, so I did kind of fill it up with some seating spaces. Now I don't know why, but I've been having a lot of troubles with floor plans recently. I don't know why, I just have. I always had like some troubles with it, and sometimes, you know, things turn out better than normal. But this one I had particular trouble with because you saw that hallway just ended up being massive. So I don't know, it's really odd sometimes, but I think, you know, I'm still happy how it turned out in the end. So this is the living room area. As you can see, it is a huge room. So kind of, you know, one part of the room is kind of like a more formal place. You can see we've got the fireplace there from Cats and Dogs, which doesn't have the TV, well, space for a TV, so I just left it more of a formal area. And there is more of kind of like an informal area on the other side of the room, which we'll work on in just a second, which has a TV and stuff. So it's kind of like a two-purpose room, I suppose you could say. And you can see we're using this really random wallpaper. I mean, I've seen a load of people using it. It's just a little bit different for me. I don't normally use wallpapers, actually, when it comes to builds and stuff. I normally just tend to go for painted walls. You know, the ones that have the trim on the top and bottom. This one's kind of similar, actually, in terms of the trim, but it does just have a more kind of patterned, kind of colour swatch to it, I guess you could say. And I thought it was a little bit nice and different for me as well, so I decided to go ahead and include that today. So you can see here working on this little bit of like a TV area, and I've been doing this a lot recently, but I end up making the TV, well, not really the TV, the sofas really close to each other, and it's kind of like, I sort of like to doubt myself and like if Sims will be able to walk through and like actually sit down. So you can see that this particular living room area was a little bit more spacious. I decided to make kind of like the just the seating a little bit more spaced out, so if that was a problem, then, you know, it wouldn't be a problem here. And we're just going around doing some kind of decorations here. Now again, I'm still getting so much lag on my playback screen here, so I'm really worried if it's actually going to end up being like that in the playbacks, like in the rendered video. Hopefully not, but if it is, I'm really sorry about it. Sometimes it doesn't like happen for me, and then sometimes it does. It's really random, but hopefully, you know, it's not too much of a big deal. So you can see now that we're working on the kitchen here, pretty decent size as well, as you can see. I have been using those little, well, not little, I don't know why I said little, the flooring tiles from Jungle Adventure quite a lot recently. I know they're kind of a very specific theme, but I found that I use a lot of Jungle Adventure items, like even, you know, the table right here as well. I don't know why it is, but wait, is that table from Jungle Adventure? I can't even remember now. It's either from Jungle Adventure or Laundry Day, I can't really remember. Anyway, so I've just been using a lot of Jungle Adventure items in my builds recently, including, you know, just the counters from the kitchen items and also the plants and, you know, just a random array of stuff. And, you know, that's kind of what I like about packs sometimes, is that they may be for what you think would be a very specific theme, but it ends up being something that you can put in a lot of different things. So, you know, it's like from a tropical sort of world, but I ended up using it in suburban builds, so it kind of just goes to show that can happen a lot with packs, which is great because it means I can use them a lot more. And yeah, so we're just working on a few more little finishing touches here to this kitchen area, and I also put a bar area in because this room was pretty big. I know I wanted it to be for the kitchen and the dining room area, but again, it still turned out a little bit too big, so I did go ahead and put a kind of bar area there to fill it up, which I don't do a whole lot in my builds. It's normally in my mansion builds if I do it, but even then I don't really do it that often either. So this room right here is the laundry room. It is pretty small, just got what you need in it. I've mentioned this in one of my past builds. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the Redwood Estate build that I did, which was my weekly mansion build, which is going up in like 45 minutes from when I'm doing this voiceover, but it'll probably be up by the time you see, well, it'll definitely be up by the time you see this. What was I going to say about it? I've totally forgotten. Oh yeah, that was I'm a total mess today. I was saying in that build how about you know, people are having like a lot of mixed opinions about laundry, so I don't sometimes decide to include laundry rooms, sometimes I do, and today was one of those days I decided to include it. And you can see that the garage area has been converted. It's pretty much like a very small garage area, as you can see, because the kind of like how the windows were placed, in terms of how big those rooms were, with the bathroom and the laundry room. And I do normally convert the rooms, actually. I find that garages can sometimes, you know, are practical in a way with kind of skill building items you can put in them, like the woodworking tables and stuff, but that's pretty much all you can put in them. So it turns out to be a little bit of a waste of space, so I do decide to convert them in pretty much every single time I use a garage area in a build. So we're now working on the bedrooms, as you can see, and this particular room is purple themed. It's because with seasons we do have a lot of nice kind of, you know, purple themed items. A lot of the items that we do have nice purple colour swatches to them, so I end up using it a lot in my builds, and it's, you know, nothing wrong with it. I think it's a nice little change for me, because before seasons I was just using lots of neutral colours in my bedrooms, so this kind of gives me a chance to do something a little bit different. And the other thing as well I wanted to mention about my bedrooms in this build is that they are very neutral. I say this in pretty much every single one of my builds, because it's kind of the case for every single one of my builds, is I do make the rooms very neutral, because it allows you to, you know, be more open for you to be more functional, if that makes sense. I don't even know how to explain that, because when I go ahead and start doing kids rooms and, like, you know, with very kind of fun colours and, like, you know, with activities, so this room's going to be for a kid who likes music and art, that sort of thing, I don't really like to do that, because when I go ahead and upload to the gallery, it's less chance it's going to be practical for you. And I say this a lot of the time, but I don't use my builds. I just don't. I don't really like using my builds for some reason. I know a lot of builders are like that as well. So when I am doing builds, it's really just for you to download. So by doing that, it just allows you to be more open to download it, if that makes sense. So you can see here that we're using this wallpaper again that we used in the living room area. I really liked it. It was a little bit of change as well, so that's what we're using here today. In that, I believe that would be the master bedroom. A lot of my bedrooms are pretty much the same size and just ginormous, so a lot of them just end up being, you know, like all master bedrooms, I guess you could say, because they're all pretty much the same size. But I think that one would be the master bedroom if I had to pick one. But we're pretty much at the end of the build here. I really hope you enjoyed. We're about to go on to the screenshots. In the comments section down below, let me know about what you thought of it. Leave a like, share and subscribe if you haven't, and go ahead and download this from the Sims World Gallery. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!